Hello and welcome to Hearth and Hammer. We are a family-friendly D&D show. Thank you for joining us, whether you're doing so live, watching the YouTube, or listening to the podcast. We are happy to share this adventure with you, and we hope that you enjoy it. Today is episode 11, and if you happen to miss any of our last shows, they're now up on YouTube or anywhere that you get your podcast feeds. Also, you can find it at anchor.fm/hearthandhammer. And if you are listening after the fact, don't forget to catch us live on Tuesday nights on Twitch at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's twitch.tv/hearthandhammer. You can also, from there, check out the streams of our players. They are also, some of them are also streaming as well, so check them out. Give them a like and a follow. We are excited that we are using music and sound effects provided by Monument Studios. They have an amazing all-in-one bundle that is on sale like all the time for 70% off or something like that. But the music itself and the sound effects are 100% royalty-free, so there's no worry about streaming it or putting it with your YouTube videos and getting any kind of negative effects from that. But check it out. They have fantasy, they have apocalypse, they have a lot of stuff, and they send out monthly updates with new stuff, which is amazing. So with that, we're going to get into tonight's episode. All right. So, last week on Hearth and Hammer, the party, with their new sponsorship set and their new home in the process of being cleaned and renovated, the party were called upon to begin their service for the Hearth and Hammer owners. Brackle's guild contacts had uncovered a smuggling operation that had gone awry, letting loose a hungry rust monster who escaped its transport crate and fled into the Hupperdook Silverlode mine. The adventurers delved into the mine with a cart of various sized wood cages with the intent of capturing or killing the creature. After finding the creature's hiding place, they discovered it had spawned several broodlings and were forced to dispatch the aggressive metal eater, but were able to capture some of its hatchlings. The crew then returned to the Hearth and Hammer successful, but with other mysterious items and more questions. So, we left off with you all getting back to the Hearth and Hammer, and I believe you had quickly turned in the writ of completion for clearing the mines and had promptly gone to bed. So, it is the next morning, and a new day is upon you. What do you wish to do?
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and stumble on down, get me some breakfast. Obviously, I know that I'll probably be meeting Mr. Pete Flamekeeper down there. Hey,
I would have woken up. I would have been up just before sunrise, outside praying, somewhere in nature, peaceful.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything first thing? Coming down to the group?
I'm going to wake up, since I only have to sleep for 4 hours. After I do that, I'm going to get up and just spend that remaining time meditating, and then after that, I'll go down and get some breakfast.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, as you guys are eating breakfast, Brackle is wandering about the usual morning customers and, just kind of getting everybody their breakfast and cleaning up for the day, preparing some things. and he sees that you guys are coming down or trickling in, and he comes over. Who's in the common room right now?
I'm sitting down with
Okay,
Pete
so Pete and Theoden.
I would probably walk in and see them and come pull up a seat next to them.
Okay, and Jace comes in as well and has a seat. And
Morning,
then Rowan actually comes down late, as he would, right? He comes down late and joins you at the table and says, "Oh, good morning, everyone. How was your rest?"
I don't believe it was as good as yours, but I appreciate you joining us.
Hey,
Oh, absolutely. We've got a fine day ahead of us.
you're mighty
Indeed.
cheery today.
Well, I mean, we did vanquish a mighty beast, and
Yes.
it,
What name will the people be shouting, Rowan?
Oh, they'll be shouting of the heroes of Hupperdook,
Excellent.
as they should,
That needs to be clipped so much. He's gonna love it.
as they should. It will be celebrated, I'm sure.
Hey,
So-
you sound much more chipper and less cynical today.
Did
There,
you do something
Bard.
different with your hair this morning?
I'm always chipper and excited to spread the word of the heroes of Hupperdook.
Bard, I would call you a lot of things. Chipper may not be one of them.
I don't think I
Indeed.
would be pessimistic by any means.
Not of your own skill, that is for sure.
So, as you sit around the table there, Bracco comes up and starts doling out some of the morning's breakfast and says, looks like you did a wonderful job capturing that rust monster. Heard there was a few more in there, so thanks for taking care of those.
Hey,
There was a few,
hey,
yes.
it did a number on me old tin can I'm wearing now.
Speaking of
Yes.
which, I told you that I'd stuck mending and tried to fix it this morning. So let me go ahead and try to do that. Barkeep, you don't mind some minor magic being cast here, do you?
Hey,
Oh, not at all, not at all. I'm familiar with a spell now and then.
All right, I'm gonna
Hey.
go ahead and try to cast mending on any rusted stuff that's
here
within
do
reach.
you go. Here
Okay.
you go there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Take that there.
I'm gonna hide it back here real quick.
And is that a ritual cast?
It shouldn't be. It's just a cantrip.
Okay. So, let's see. Go ahead. Do you have to roll for that one? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's just a touch utility spell. It says the
Okay.
spell repairs a single break or tear an object, something like that. Yeah, and since I have druidic focus, it doesn't have to be ritual.
Perfect. Okay. So, I am going to have you roll, not for performing it, but I'm going to have you roll a, let's see. Pete, roll either a religion or arcana.
Okay, well those are both the same, so it won't matter. That'll be an 11.
Okay. Wasn't looking for anything too difficult. So it was mostly just kind of how long did it take you to do this? So you Theoden puts his hammer on the table with a loud thud, and you start to run your hands over it and start casting mending, and it's a little slow going, but you do eventually start to get that cast, and you are able to see the kind of rust, like the stained rust marks that had been just kind of like covering it, almost like a marble. They had kind of covered your hammer a little bit. You see them start to kind of fade and almost like rewind how they spiraled onto it in the first place. And so it slowly kind of begins to fade. The rest of you are able to continue eating your breakfast and getting things done.
Hey,
Bracco,
Mordan's beard.
yes. Bracco goes about
Very nice.
serving some other customers, and after about 20 minutes or so, you're able to mend all of the rust spots on the hammer, because I believe mending is usually for like one, like a small. It's like a small area, right? It's like a small device.
Yeah.
So that's why I
think it's
kind of
like
wanted you to.
Like a 1 foot anything.
Yeah.
Within.
So that's why I kind of wanted you to roll to see how long it took you to kind of go over the whole hammer,
Yeah.
and get that repaired. Of the no longer having the -1.
Hey,
As
Halfling,
well,
you're good
so.
for something other than eating all me vittles. Oh, thank
Well,
you.
you know, if you didn't leave things lying around like your vittles, then you wouldn't have to worry about anyone else eating them. So
It's becoming tougher. I found very few people that I'm struggling to beat to the breakfast table, and you, sir, are definitely one of them.
you know, it's that Lightfoot blood in me. It's got me wanting to eat, and I get down here quicker than anyone else.
I'm gonna have to tie some bells to you so I know when you're coming down in the morning. Hey.
Some bells. Comes down.
Peach, are you
like
able to fix this? And I pull out my rapier and put it on the table.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I can. I'm sure now that this has actually worked. I wasn't sure if it would, but I can take some time out of my morning and work on everybody's everything. Unless you'd like to take it somewhere else and try to see if you can get it fixed, or just buy a new one outright. But I definitely need to fix my own things as well.
I'm in no rush to get it back, however long it takes.
Right.
So you're just gonna leave that with him, your rapier for now. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, Pete, you can, do that, in a little bit before you start your day. So you guys have had your breakfast. The rest of you, what are you, if there's anything you have planned, start thinking about that. Braco comes up and settles up, and he sees you've finished your casting. He says, "Oh, looks like you've did a little bit to help repair his hammer there. That's fantastic. Hopefully you didn't suffer too much damage to your metal items there with that rust monster. But you did a valuable service for us here in Hupperdook. So you definitely.
I know next time I'm just going to throw the old human at him. Let him take him on.
He throws his head back and goes, "Oh, aye, that's a good idea. As long as he doesn't have any metal on him, I say it's a fair."
I must admit, I came pretty close to making a mistake back there, but
I think I'm
that's
going
okay.
to run and let those spell slingers have it out with any more rust monsters we come across.
That would be wise.
they're not very common here in the Silver Quill Ridge mountain area, but. This one apparently had been smuggled in and was definitely part of some illegal operation. We're unclear as to the full extent of what brought it here. We were informed of its presence anonymously, so we're still tracking that down. But the wrongdoers apparently thought that it would be bad for business to let it wander into the mines and start eating all into our profits. So
Bad for business and bad for just about any army that comes across that thing.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
So
once the larger one was dealt with, the others did not seem as aggressive. We did try to save the ones that we could.
I heard that you did. I heard that you saved a few, and so it's. Now I do have a question. Did you happen to bring back any portions of the rust monster, or did you leave the carcass to some of the miners there?
Before you wait up a second, okay? Our druid took care of it in the best way possible. You don't need to be asking any more questions about it.
Okay,
now.
all right, fair
Long
enough.
story short, there's nothing left.
Okay.
As evil creatures, even whatever they were, I felt like it was my duty to take care of it.
Well, I respect that for sure. I just, if there's ever a time that you, fight and defeat a beast of some kind, just know that if you, do harvest any of the animal, humanely, of course, that I would be happy to take some of those off your hands. I do require a bit of components myself in my brewing, and I do a bit of other things as well. So, So
anything in particular you're looking for there, barkeep?
at present, no. I've got a few lines of my own that I've had for a while, but having an adventuring crew on the payroll is going to be quite handy, I think. So, like I said, absolutely. And he looks at you, Pete, and he says, with absolute respect to the animals and the wild mother there. Like I said, I would hate to waste anything, but whatever you feel is proper, I would appreciate it. So
I appreciate your phrasing and all that. I'll keep an eye out and try to do my best to salvage what can be salvaged, and the rest will be given back to the earth.
sounds like a plan. Well, I do believe that Kellen should be coming in. I think he was to report in and let us know about how long it should take to get the cave cleaned out there for you all, to at least be able to move in. So, if any of you are sticking around, then he can meet with you all or just one of you. It's totally up to you.
Well,
Of course.
I don't mind waiting around a bit for him.
Hey, I don't mind. I can eat some more victuals. I'm already behind this one down here, and Lord knows I can't let him beat me in eating. I'll never be able to show my face ever again around
Yeah,
another
you've
dwarf.
got, you've got the monk over here beating you at fighting, the halfling beating you at eating.
I pulled
You're losing
some
all your
punches.
battles.
Hey, watch yourself, halfling. All right?
So-
Next one in the pit will be ye.
Rowan also says, Braca, look, I definitely appreciate the line on any new objectives that you require of us. We would love to partake of anything else that comes our way, and we do appreciate the business by all means. So, thank you. The heroes of Hupperdook are ever at your service. And he kind of gives a little flourish with his, dagger that he's been eating breakfast with, kind of thing. So, anyone now? Brackle kind of goes about his business, and
Orphans. I believe y'all can hold down the fort. I'm gonna go make my way around town, see who I can speak with.
Aye.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with Jace, and Jace, where do you want to?
I'm gonna go check on Nima.
Okay. Perfect. So easily enough, you can, leave the Hearth Hammer and make your way over to Nima Cinered's house.
And as I'm walking, Chewy's just kind of jumping around behind me, swatting at butterflies and such.
Perfect. Chewy the
Setting the mood
cat,
for you.
out and enjoying the nice day.
So,
Absolutely.
to the door. Boom, boom, boom. There was a knock on the door.
Okay, so boom, boom, boom. You knock on the door, and at first you don't hear anything. But then you hear some kind of scraping around and stuff, and soon enough comes to the door. You hear it unlatch, or you see actually kind of out a window. It peeks open through the blinds, through the curtains.
Hello,
there.
Nima. It's your friend Jace. You
What?
remember
All
me?
right, one moment.
Oh, no
So
worries.
she
No
comes
rush.
around and pulls it open. She goes, sorry for the long moment, but as you might understand, I'm definitely a little more cautious about just opening the door these days.
I can't say I blame you one bit. Which is why I came by. I just wanted to check in. It's been a few days since we've seen you and talked to you. I just wanted to make sure you're
Hi,
okay.
thank you.
If you're healed up, or if you need any help in that area, I'm more than welcome here to help you in any way you need. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Oh, I'm feeling much better. I definitely getting some rest. It's not something, generally that one recovers from quickly, being held in captivity for multiple weeks.
I understand.
But yes, I think I am recovering nicely, and it does help to know that they've all been taken care of. I'll grant you that.
Indeed, they have. Yes, we've done our very best to keep Hupperdook safe, and I believe we are doing. We have done that, and actually we have a day off, so I believe Hupperdook is doing pretty well today.
Aha, day off. Well, it's not something that happens very often here in Hupperdook. I mean, we do work 10-hour days. You know, we
Of course.
celebrate our work and we celebrate our play in the evenings. So, but
Understand.
you know, good on you. I know you went and helped out Brackle and Wiltix with some other stuff. I think went up there with Kellen to the cave the other day. I believe he started pulling some of the nastier bits of kobold trash and you know whatnot out of there.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a few more days still. But you know, don't just stand here. Do you want to come in, or I only have a little bit. I'm going to actually go back up there with him later this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come in and hang out for a few minutes.
Well, sure, absolutely. I'll put on some tea. So she, you know, opens the door, lets you in, and goes down. And as you watch her, you notice that she is definitely refreshed from when you rescued her from the cave, but she's definitely still looking a little tired. You know, a little malnourished. Like I said, but recovering. She doesn't look,
Okay.
you know, out of energy or anything. So you know, if you, from what we talked earlier, if you were wanting to offer that, you know, she may take you up.
Yeah.
So she comes back with the tray of tea.
And as she does so, I gently place my hand on her shoulder and I say thank you. And as I do that, I cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
And just heal her the rest of the way up.
Okay. She kind of, you know, she doesn't like back off from your touch. She kind of lets it happen, but she kind of looks at you funny for a second and goes, "Oh, well, thank you kindly. That's very helpful. I definitely boosts the energy a little bit. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for the tea.
Absolutely. So she sits down and, you know, gives you some tea and starts talking about all the things that she is excited to start finding in the cave again. You know, it was her cave that kind of started all of this adventure. And so she's talking about getting back to, you know, getting all of the materials and whatnot for the blasting powder, and so she's, you know, talking it out. She's just kind of talking, and as she's cleaning up, getting ready, she's also getting out, like, you know, her you can tell she kind of has not armor per se, but kind of that outfit, like that work vest with a bunch of pouches and a bunch of pockets on belts and stuff that she collects samples and materials for blasting powder. And so she's gathering it, and you can see she's, you know, getting ready. And as she's talking, she says, "And you know, like, I heard there's well, we caught a lot of stuff. We recovered a lot of the blasting powder and materials used from that Stallmast had. And I know that some of it is still there, and that is quite all right with me. You guys got me out of that place, and I am okay to let that go. But I have heard since the last few days that there's still some questionable things happening with some
Interesting.
blasting powder, not necessarily going missing, but maybe just not being counted correctly, which is pretty odd for the Firemark facility and for gnomes in general to be, you know, misplacing it, if you will.
Yes, that does sound uncommon. Where, if you don't mind me asking, have you heard this from your work? Is this something you've heard from? From
I've spoken to a
us?
few of my colleagues at the Firemark facility. I don't know that they. I don't know if they'd be willing to open up about it to a stranger like yourself. I trust you completely, but you know, they're a little bit jumpy after Stallmast kind of
Of course.
had already been stealing from under their noses. So But I will tell you that I'll ask around and see if I can find anything else about this. Like I said, it wasn't that it was gone missing, but more of like the books didn't add up.
Right.
So,
And that would lead you to believe that something fishy's going on.
well, that's definitely true. It could be
And,
it could be a little larger. I know that there was that elf that had been with Stallmast, and he
we never
seemed
could find her.
yeah, they got away, I think.
Yes.
He appeared randomly, and he never came in the front where we were at. He would just come in or come out the door maybe occasionally, and then go back in, but then he wasn't always present, from what I understand. So,
Right. And
but anyway,
from my understanding, Skin Sabris is locked back up. I would hate for them to try to stage another escape for her. So
without Stallmast or without any of the tools that I had been forced to provide for for them, I don't have any fear of that.
okay, that is reassuring. I trust you on that.
Yes.
Excellent.
Well, she suddenly turns around and you notice she's full on. She's got her backpack. She's got all of her gear on for collection, and she says, "Well, if you're ready, I'm going to go ahead and lock up and head out to meet Kellen and the crew that's
of
going back up
course.
to the mountain."
Of course, I appreciate the conversation. If you find out any more about that blasting powder or anything of that sort, please let us know immediately. And
I'll
we'll
pass
do
it
what we can.
along, and if you hear anything, maybe let me know too if there's anything else you're
course.
looking for. So,
Of course.
all right. Well,
Thank you very much.
I look forward to getting that cave cleaned up and then helping each other out.
All right.
All right. So she wanders off after you say goodbye, and you're left there. Was there anything else that you wanted to? Anywhere else you'd like to go?
Yeah, at this point I would I would like to follow. Yeah, I guess maybe at this point I would head back to the tavern if the group's still there. Maybe just tell them what I heard from Nemo.
Okay. Easy enough. You come back. Are you guys all? So you start traveling back. As you're doing that, you've been gone for probably an hour or so, maybe a little longer. Just walking around. How long did the rest of you guys stay in the common room there? I know that Pete was working on mending the rapier.
I'm also kind of like I anticipated that Kellen would have been here.
Okay.
Somewhat
He
soon.
yeah
But
he
if
I was
it
he,
had
gonna-
taken a
I
while-
was planning
if
on
it had
waiting
taken a
on
while,
him.
then I was like,
No.
no,
was
we'll go
mine.
ahead and leave.
he probably showed up another 10-15 minutes later. He walked in, bright, cheery-eyed. Got that twinkle of ready for a hard day's work, or that he maybe already has been working for a while. Because again, they work for 10 hours. But his bright blonde hair is just like all sorts of crazy up, kind of thing. He comes in and says, "Oh, good. You're up. It's wonderful to see you. And took a quick look yesterday, took stock of what was there and what needed to be taken out of the cave. And I think we have a good estimate. I think it should only be about 5 days to get the cave cleaned out. And I say, if there's any of that furniture you want to keep, that's fine. But there was a lot of places where the kobolds were pretty nasty. They're filthy creatures. And so
Disgusting creatures.
absolutely. And so, we'll get that
much all
cleaned
over.
out, and that we'll start, securing it. We won't begin full renovations just yet, but we are going to probably stabilize. I think there's a special room, and he kind of gives you a wink without saying anything. He says there's a special room I heard that needs to be stabilized, and then I think there's also a few other places that we'll begin a few modifications to make it where you guys have more control of everything. But in the meantime, is there any questions or anything you want me to add or take up there? Or
Hey,
Yeah, I know I'd spoken to you obviously about the plants that I want to bring in. I'm having a couple of thoughts that are kind of the rest of my day is going to kind of be revolving around. Is there enough like just dirt and things that I can make use of in there, or do I need to plan to bring in more for good soil?
You know, there's definitely portions of the some of the larger chambers have dirt. I don't know how far it goes. It could be rock. It may not have a lot of root. So
Enough for some starters, at least. Yeah.
sure. I'm not an expert on the dirt and the plants, but I could
As
tell
long
you
as there's
that
something, I'll figure it out. Yep.
absolutely, and I could tell you that it wouldn't be a hard matter to bring in some dirt, or if you have a way to do that yourself, we could probably do that, and we could probably build it up a little bit, I would say.
You know
But
my
yeah,
plans. You know my
yeah,
plans.
yes, you showed me a little bit of what you needed, but I'd say once we're ready to start that, I'll probably consult with you more.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, absolutely. Anything else? I do want to be off here pretty quick. Nima is going to join me up there, as well as my crew to finish cleaning it out. I'd say probably a good 2 days of just pulling stuff out, and then probably the minor modifications another couple days. At this, Rowan says, Kellen, I would like to say all of the items in the bedrooms, specifically my bedroom, the one with the exquisite bed and tapestry and armoire. Go ahead and just leave all of that in there. Just make sure it's not been, dirtied up by the kobolds. So.
I don't know what we're going to do with this bard.
Hey, he just likes fancy things.
The small room next to the little forge off to the side there. If you could just leave the forge in that room as be, just maybe tidy up a little bit. But I'm a simple man who doesn't need much.
Okay, aye, absolutely. So, let's see. I believe there was 3 bedrooms at present. With we talked about plans for turning a couple more into rooms, since there's more of you who requiring rooms than there were, obviously, in those foul beings that were there previous. Because they definitely had those kobolds kind of stacked up in the one large chamber in the southwest there. So yeah, absolutely. We'll keep the bedrooms intact. We'll make sure there's not any any of the kobolds hadn't desecrated it, if you will. We'll clean it up a little bit, make it shine. We'll make it shine.
Aye.
So we'll also probably over the next few days put in some more modern lanterns, like we have here in Hupperdook. Bring a little light to that cave. We don't want it to be too much. So. And so,
This sounds lovely.
at this, Rowan also was like, "Oh, thank you very much." So, and if you could go ahead and make a key for each of us, that would be lovely. And he goes ahead and do you guys remember who had that key, or was it? Did you both have one?
Both of them. There's one to the main place, and then
It's
I think we already gave him the key, didn't we?
yeah, he
That's right.
He made a mold.
That's right.
Earlier.
Okay, he did make the mold. He says, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that and get it for you." All right. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll be on my way and get started.
Aye.
Perfect. So he turns around and scurries off. You see, anybody sticking around or anything?
Am I there yet? Or-
You probably would have come in maybe 10, 15 minutes after he left.
okay.
So.
I just come in and kind of update them on what Nima said, just about the blasting powder being off, but
Sure.
Don't really know much after.
Aye, we can probably count the monk's pockets. I bet he's got plenty of it. Between him and Rowan, they've probably got all the missing blasting powder.
Yeah, all my blasting powder came from the illegally sourced stuff, though.
Aye, which is probably where it went missing. Mm.
She did say they haven't confirmed any is missing, just that the numbers seem off in some way.
Aye.
She's gonna let us know if she finds out any more information about that.
Rowan pipes up and says, I believe most of what was up there was also blasting powder she had created while she'd been there for, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks?
Aye.
Indeed.
So,
I don't
I'm
imagine
just
that would be
saying,
on the
Bard.
books yet.
Aye, exactly that halfling.
Theoden, you keep calling me Bard, but you're welcome to use my name. It is Rowan.
Aye. If I learn your name, I'll feel bad when you fall again in battle there, Bard.
Well, just good-natured ribbing never hurts anyone. But yes, absolutely. I mean, we are the heroes of Hupperdook. We should probably, act like we, want to get to know each other. I'd like to get to know you, Theoden.
Are you sure?
I mean, as well as we should,
Why
right?
do I have a need to throw an elf across the room? I don't understand why we need to be such good friends. Just stay out of my way of my hammer and you'll be all right.
Well, we could always work better as a team, don't you think? I mean, after all,
I left a team. I've just been stuck with this ragtag bunch for a bit.
I mean, we've only been here for about a week or so now, right?
Yes.
Hey, a week too long, it seems.
Ah,
Even in the life of a dwarf.
you're enjoying it.
He loves
Human, you don't have many more of these weeks left on this here earth.
That's very true. It means I don't have to put up with you for all that much longer. Thank the heavens.
All right, so at this point, you guys were going to go on some things, errands.
Has Wiltick's shop open? I was kind of waiting around to let them.
Yeah,
do, 'cause I
he
know
would have
that-
opened early.
I know that Rowan was kind of. I know Rowan was kind of wanting to take a path with me, and so I kind of am just kind of buying for time and letting them go about their business at the
Sure,
they're doing.
sure. Yeah, I mean, it's probably late morning at this point. You guys didn't start super early, but you also didn't start, really late either. So it'd probably be between 10 and 11 at this point. So yeah, Wiltix has been open for several hours. I mean, this entire town and city works from before dawn till after dusk. And,
Hey, people after me own heart.
it's like I said, it's 10-hour work day. And
That's
then
why they party hard.
then they celebrate it hard. So
Hey,
Jordan,
that's
before you
why we
head
get
off,
to let the ale flow.
before you head off, and speaking of teamwork, I had an idea a while ago while I was trying to think of names for our group, which apparently has a name of its own, and I thought
Rowan
potential-
perks up. You mean the heroes of Hupperdook?
Yeah, that
Oh
one, that one.
Lord, he keeps stroking his ego, halfling. Jeez.
And I thought of something of a combo move that we could do, right? Listen here.
Listen, how
and we
many
call-
more times do I have to carry you into battle, you lazy
That's the point.
halfling?
No. Listen.
Oh,
it's called,
lordy.
It's called crash and burn. I get on your shoulders. You use your boots of speed. You ram into them, and then I set them on fire.
Listen,
Tell me that's not a
halfling.
good idea.
Halfling, I carry you one time, and now you think that you don't ever have to use your stubby little legs again.
No, I'm gonna use my legs. I just think it'd be really cool.
Crash and
What
burn.
are the chances you actually catch him on
pretty
fire?
awesome.
This determines how much I like the move.
I'm not sure.
I've got good ale
right.
in my stomach. I never burn down.
Just
I believe that
strong
should
as a
make him
mountain.
explode.
just keep it in your head so that the next time I look at you, you'll know. I'll make
Aye.
a face and I'll point and you'll know.
I might just throw you at them. That would be a crash and burn I'd want to see.
You're right. I don't vote for that one as much, but it's possible.
There's
Let's
less
see.
chance of the dwarf getting caught on fire, so yeah, I don't like
Aye.
that one as much either.
Let's see if that little puppy dog can teleport you out of that.
Indeed.
Awesome. All right. Well, so you guys are standing up from the table, about to, embark on your individual or groups of two errands. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take a break early, and we'll get Rowan, Mr. Austin, LCG, in here himself because he is ready. So he had some other things going on this evening, so he's joining late. So we are going to go to our break, get a drink, and be right back.
All right.
All
So
right.
we back from break. I'm like, yes,
We are back from break. Thank you. And by the way,
That.
we have Hollow Stumpy in chat today, and Madrop Bear. Thank you for joining us. So Madrop is a friend, and Hollow, I think, is a friend who's been playing some.
a well-known friend. Yeah.
Yeah, Valorant with us lately.
Your idea, Halfling, has been clipped by the gods
Perfect.
of moderators. It seems.
Perfect. So
Moderators?
yes,
We'll keep
the
that
crash
completely
and burn.
silent from Rowan, and we'll just surprise him with it one time.
You're gonna have to know about that. Yeah.
Now I'm in. Now I'm in 100% now because it's a secret now.
Okay.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
Seems as though I've had a bit of amnesia and don't remember the last hour. And I feel like I wasn't quite myself.
Hey, Bard. Hey.
All right. So we get to about lunchtime, and Brackhill comes around and sees you've been come back and says, starts giving you some lunch there as well, because he's nothing if not an efficient host. So as you finish up, who all would like to go on their errand next?
I'm pretty sure that
I'm good for whenever my place is.
Yeah, I'm down for whenever me and Rowan want to head over to Wiltix.
Yes, that is the errand that I remember us wanting to go on.
Hey,
Yes.
I think
Where are
you,
they?
I think Bard that we wanted to go talk to Wiltix about this.
Sure.
Ex-
We'll say
pipe and wood that
as
I found?
everyone
Hey.
as everyone starts to get up and move around. Pete, you probably would have a little bit more of the gear to finish up mending, because you had the rapier, and then
I also have
Dave-
my own scythe.
Yep, exactly.
Or not scythe,
So
scimitar.
the
You
scimitar.
have a scythe?
Yeah, I was like,
So
wait, it didn't just rust, it morphed into a different
0
weapon.
to 100 real quick. The halfling's got a scythe.
Wait a sec.
So I can
Wait a
reach up to
second.
you now.
We're learning a lot about the halfling here.
Yes,
He's got
indeed.
not only can he shapeshift, but his weapons are shapeshifting now.
Interesting. That's useful.
Oh lord.
Okay, so while you continue to finish up there, Theoden and Rowan you get up and you wander next door to Wiltix's shop, and you hear obviously the sounds of hammering and tinkering going on, and so easy enough you're able to wander over and catch Wiltix's attention.
Hey.
Wiltix is sitting there and looks up as you enter through the side door and
know.
says, "Oh, hey, hello, good morning.
Hey.
I guess is it still morning? I don't even know." He's like bent over. He's got like his spectacles with like the little different kind of monocles that he like views the different small gears and whatnot of his tinkerings. His apprentice is over there hammering away. And what would you like to talk to him about?
Hi, Gnome. We found me and this bard here. He considered us friends or something along those lines. This troubled one here.
Again, you know my name, but
It's okay, Bard.
Bard
It's
will
okay.
suffice.
It's okay. We found these items in some crates when we fought this monstrosity of a rusty devil or a. The Bard found a wall, but we didn't bring it with us.
Yes. We left the wall.
While he was checking
Quite
out this
interesting.
wall, though,
A
we
wall,
found
okay,
these pipes. I think they are. It's like it's a metal tube and some blocks of wood that look like they were starting to be finished into something. We're wondering if maybe you had any idea of what these could be used for. There was also another crate of blasting powder next to these as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
absolutely.
sure that's important at all, but this wall, however, was quite interesting. But we
Indeed.
can take
Indeed
a
the
moment to
wall.
talk about both.
There's a
Um,
corner over there where somebody hasn't heard of the heroes of Hupperdook. Go tell them.
Is there another wall over there too?
Hey, four of
you-
them if you walk
as
around
you-
far enough.
as you stand in the kind of the open air entryway there that you can look out and see, you roll a perception check.
I'll do it because he's off doing his own thing. at
No,
the
no, he needs to roll it. He needs to roll it.
moment. Roll a perception check, Bart.
He has his headphones on.
I know.
Roll a perception check. We haven't had a roll yet.
This is too good. The wall thing's never going to get old.
21.
Oh,
All
I
right.
was hoping he got a nat one.
So you
I have
spy.
perception.
You spy through the open door to the shop and the wall. You spy a group of orphans who are lazily sitting around on some crates and barrels across the street, looking bored and dejected. They could use a good story.
Oh, yes, the orphans. I walk over, and as I'm walking over, I'm thinking these orphans are quite. Typically, they'll walk through the streets, maybe share stories for some coin, just like I did when I was younger. It would be great if I were to share the story of the heroes of Hupperdook, for them to share our glory and our fame to others through the streets. And I go share the stories of our
Perfect.
exploits.
Roll a performance check.
He had this mapped out completely. He's going way too quick.
With
Listen,
like
guys,
triple advantage, right? or
This
something?
is the only thing he is he's picked
That's
up
a
the
21.
entire week.
21. So
21.
So you begin telling the story of the heroes of Hupperdook, but not just with words. You are full in your element of acting with, pulling out your swords and, mimicking and swashbuckling in the streets. You're starting to draw a crowd. It's impressive, actually, considering most of the gnomes and people are working, that they're actually stopping to watch you. And Theoden, you're half distracted because you, as a paladin of the Path of Glory, you completely approve of building the glory of the group. So
Okay, you definitely just stopped me in my tracks because I was about to throw this in a whole different mess of whack.
but he goes off. He goes off, and
I
Wiltix
think my
is
friend has something you need to listen to over here.
yes. So
Bard,
Wiltix
speak up.
Wiltix kind of listens for a minute, and he's definitely a man of business. So he after a few minutes, he does catch your attention again, Theoden, and say, you said you found some items that you would like me to
Aye.
look at.
Yes, and I'll just go ahead and hand him the tubes and the unfinished wood.
Okay. So for those who don't remember, you found some metal tubes. They were about a foot or so in length. And he begins to inspect them. The blocks of wood are this kind of like odd shape, like somebody kind of like cut it, but then didn't like take time to like finish it or shape it at all. Like it was just, but they're all kind of the same weird shape of being about, anywhere from like 6 to 10 inches long, and then kind of like has a almost like a knot or a cutout protruding at an angle from it. So he takes a look at the tubes, and he says, well, these tubes they could be a number of things, and they could be used as they could be used for any kind of mechanical devices. They could be used in clockwork devices. They could be used for housing certain things. But they do look like the... He kind of looks at it, and consults something on the table. He kind of like scrounges around in the papers and whatnot, and he says, although I don't like to admit it, these also could be a component for a weapon.
Weapon, you say?
Yes.
Aye, piquing me
a
interest.
fairly new weapon in these parts, but it's not unknown to us. It is something that, generally speaking, is just within the Crown's Guard and our own militia here.
Aye, what would be this weapon?
Well, they're a device used to
Not
launch a
smite, it's
projectile. Basically, launch a projectile at extremely high velocity, in such a manner that it does blunt physical damage, even though it is very small.
Blunt physical damage at
Yes, absolutely.
me arm launches me hammer in very fast fashion.
Oh,
for
yes.
Blunt physical damage.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But it's
So this device could be called the dwarven arm.
you know, they thought about that and dismissed it immediately. Actually, it came
Hey,
with its
watch
own
your
name.
mouth, gnome. Watch your mouth, gnome.
Wiltix kind of chuckles. It came with its own name. I believe it actually came from somewhere across, not Wildmount per se, but actually one of the other continents in Exandria. But it is called a gun or firearm.
Aye.
As soon as he
Aye.
says it, I'm like, and then Stallmaster was just about to attack, and then it goes to the dwarfen, and he says it, and I just leave the story.
Aye. Let me see these
Did I-
things, Wiltix. Let me see these things. We'll just put them back in our pack. No, thank you for your time,
Wait,
Wiltix.
wait.
Wiltix is still holding it.
There
and
it is. There it is.
he's kind of
Did
like,
I hear him say a gun?
No, Bard,
And did
entertain
you-
the children. They're the same thought process
I
as
know,
you.
I think-
Entertain the children.
roll a perception
and
check.
then third and hit him with his hammer, and we won.
Oh.
Disadvantage
Me?
because he's so enthralled at talking about himself.
Yes, with disadvantage.
Roll perception with
because his
disadvantage.
ego.
First
Because
one's
you
a
were-
12.
Okay. You were definitely.
Nat one. He
Next
hears
one's
nothing.
a 21.
The 12.
Okay. So you aren't sure exactly what you heard, but you did hear an exclamation from him.
Nice.
So that could have been gun. And since you're always on the lookout for things, you come back in questioning. So Wiltix takes a look at you, Rowan, and your sudden interest, and says, "Yes, it is something that is known to us. It's not completely uncommon here in Hupperdook. There is actually a few areas where they are allowed and created for specific groups within the Empire's military.
Hey, we need
But,
to get our hands on these.
To say that you found this in amongst the smuggled goods is
Hey,
definitely cause for concern.
hey. The only concern is who's smuggling this stuff in. For when the heroes of Hupperdook find them, oh, boy, do they have something coming.
Yes, I'm sure
Me
the
Warhammer
heroes,
to their head.
I'm sure the heroes of Hupperdook will
You know,
take care of it. Absolutely.
if you didn't have nice wares, I'd almost be tired of your mouth as much as I am the bards here.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I am
We'll take
bankrolling the heroes of Hupperdook. So I do believe in...
Aye, sir, you've not gotten a gold piece off of me.
No, you've gotten gold off of me.
Aye, very true.
Forgive Thirded. That is his form of flattery, is to make fun of and please forgive him.
He-
know that you are
Wiltix just again kind of chuckles. Oh, don't worry. I am not easily offended, or else I would not be able to work here. However, I do want to tell you, if this is something that you found, I am not 100%, but it does look like it could be used as a component for a firearm.
Hey, do you know of anybody there, Gnome, that may have a little more knowledge about these guns or firearms, so to say? That you might point us in the direction. Maybe somebody in the guild, maybe that could show us around these.
You know,
We just want to better understand the smuggled goods.
Hey,
and
Yes.
We want to
firearms.
know
I'm
what
sure.
we're up
Potentially
against
for more
before we solve the
components.
problems of Hupperdook again.
Rowan, are you trying to be deceptive in how you say that? Or are you...
Well,
Are you just being sarcastic?
Yeah, pretty much.
do I have the sense that he doesn't want us to have guns? Like it's illegal for us to have guns? Or do I get a sense that it'd be okay
Roll
for us
an insight check.
He comes in an hour late, doing all the rolling tonight.
to... 21.
Man, rolling those 21s.
I was gonna say easy.
You get the sense from his demeanor that it's not necessarily forbidden knowledge, but it's something that is very closely guarded, and he was a bit hesitant to talk to you about it. But as a tinkerer and inventor himself, he is kind of curious as well about not only the item itself, but also where you found the item. And so he's being genuine and telling you these things, but it doesn't appear that he's, like, not like he's worried about, like, you getting in trouble or anything. So,
Okay. Wiltix, do you know of a tinkerer that might even have the knowledge and the capabilities of putting some of these components together for a gun? Do you know of someone that might be beyond your limitations here that would be able to do it? Or are you saying
Well-
that you're quite capable of putting this together and building a gun?
I mean, I would be more than capable, yes. I don't have the plans or schematics for such a device. It is a closely guarded bit of information. So I would
But-
advise, even in your inquiries, to be careful. Not
Hey,
it's not so much something that is illegal or wrong to have or inquire about, but while you are sponsored, I would, and as your sponsor, I would suggest using caution, because, like I said, it is something that is something that is reserved for the Crown's Guard and those few military units that have been assigned them. Not to say that it couldn't be, there are definitely others out in the world. I can tell you that. I don't know much about them other than that, but I know that they have been around. So, for about the last, 15 to 20 years, perhaps. So,
Well, I appreciate your help in this. We'll definitely use
let
caution.
me talk to those in the guild and find out who might be best for you to talk to, who has some knowledge and is able to share it. Because I know of several that have it, but they may not be able to discuss it.
hey.
As they're finishing up, I want to walk out
Okay.
and go to Rowan as they're done. So I don't know if y'all are done or not, but I just want to.
Okay. So you guys are about finishing up with this conversation, and Rowan, you're kind of like in the door there, kind of talking, looking at the tube that Wiltix is holding there as he finishes talking about this, and Lee walks in.
Rowan, if I could have a word with you.
Just one word? Or are you going to be saying more than one?
More than one.
Fine.
So, I'm about to go try to find some information on these goon items.
It's pronounced. You're looking for some goons?
Goon gun, something along those lines. It's
A goon.
part of the reason
a
I
goon
originally came here to Hupperdook.
gun. Oh, you're trying to say guns. Also known as
Anyways,
fire.
if you don't want to discuss it, I mean, I was just going to try to find some information.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. We also are looking for some firearms. We might have found some components. And we're not supposed to be talking about this, apparently. So Wiltix over here is going to find us someone that we can talk to about these things. It is somewhat of the hush-hush, sort of don't talk much about it. But,
So-
Am I putting these things back in my bag at this moment, or is Wiltix going to hang on to himself?
Yeah, I mean, if you reach back for him, he hands it back over.
All right, we'll just.
Well, I have
stow 'em
some
back in.
contacts here myself that might be able to get some information from. Before I do, though, I just wanted to know why exactly you were seeking this information.
They make a loud noise and gather people's attention and do a lot of damage.
Now,
So
am
what
I
are your-
overhearing what they're saying? Are they still talking right there in front of me, or have they stepped off?
I wouldn't want to be like super secretive, but kind of wanted to have a semi-private
Like-
conversation.
Like you kind of took him aside,
Yeah.
like
Well,
maybe
if-
just outside the door or
it-
something.
That's what I was gonna say. If obviously he can hear outside on the street while telling a story that he said gun, then I mean, there's not a whole lot that you'd be able to sit there and talk in the Tinker's workshop and I'm not here.
But I just want to make sure if I'm finding any information, if I'm giving it to you, you have good intentions with it.
As good intentions as these swords have done for me in the past battles.
I can understand that. All right, well then, I'll be off. I'll let you know if I find anything out.
Have you not found anything out yet?
I
That
haven't
was
left.
the words?
I
No.
haven't left. I just wanted. Yeah.
Didn't know you hadn't already gone somewhere.
Yeah, he's heading out. He's heading out.
We told you that only one person had gone.
I've
anywhere.
had amnesia from the past hour.
Okay,
Still,
so at this point, go ahead.
Good.
Nope,
Okay.
there.
Wiltix, one other thing. You guys by chance have a Temple of Mordan or a priest of Mordan that I can go speak with today?
He kind of looks at you for a second, and he realizes that you're not joking necessarily, and then kind of remembers. I guess that's true. You are new in town. Yes, there is quite a large section of the city that pays homage to Mordan, specifically everywhere. But specifically, there's the foundry area. There's a lot of areas up there that hold. It's actually kind of part of a temple. So
Hey.
like the foundries and the blacksmith area and the smelter area, they're kind of all interwoven with the large Mordan temple here in the upper part. So
Hey. Could you point me in that there direction? I'll be heading off that way there.
oh yes, absolutely, and he gives you the instructions on where to go. Okay. All right. So Lee, you and Rowan have kind of finished up your conversation. Are you heading out?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You heading out by yourself?
Yeah. I'm not planning on. If anybody wants to come with me, I'm not opposed to it, but
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna head to the Cobalt Souls.
Okay. Head to the library. All right. Perfect. All right. So, was anyone going with him there? Kind of hanging around. Okay. So Lee, you pretty easily can find the library of the Cobalt Soul here in Hupperdook, and you head down there and see kind of the familiar sites. The the architecture is similar amongst many of the libraries, but with a flair that is a little bit more to Hupperdook. You see a few monks and scribes kind of going in and out. It's a pretty large city, after all. So, and you are able to go in to the front there, and you're greeted by a monk as well. And he does see, because you have the robes of your Cobalt Soul robes, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So you are, recognized as being a member, and you see someone who walks up to you, and he says, hello. How are you today?
I'm good. I had some different things I wanted to submit to the order, and I wanted to see if I could get some information on a couple different things.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, I am one of the archivists here, and I can take you in, or you're welcome to peruse the archives yourself, obviously. You said you wanted to submit some items as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll pull out the one explosive seed, hand it to him, the blasting powder, notes on Stallmast's mech suit, and notes on Stallmast's plans for the different bombs and whatnot.
Okay. So let's see, that was one seed and all of Stallmast notes.
Mm-hmm.
And what else was it? Sorry.
Blasting powder.
Okay. Some of the stock that you got from Stallmast?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So you start to hand these items to him. And he says, "Oh, let me one moment," and he goes over to a alcove and pulls out a tray, basically to accept all the items that you're going to turn into him. And so he turns. He says, thank you very much. My name is Archivist Let, and if you need anything else, feel free to ask. I will take these and have them processed."
Yes. Do you have any information about guns? Maybe schematics on how to build them, or maybe the whatever sort of projectile they send, how to create those, or what those consist of?
Yes. Absolutely. Let me. I believe we might have some information on that, but I will have to consult with one of my other archivists, and we'll come back to you here shortly. Do you require lodging? You do have access to the library as a member?
As of now, I'm fine, but thank you.
Okay. Well, where might you be staying then, so that I can reach you with this information, or are you going to wait around for a little bit?
I'll either be found at Hearth Hammer, and if not there, Wiltix or Brack will be able to get a hold of me and let me know.
Very well. I believe at minimum it would probably take us a few hours, but if there's anything else you require, we will have to search and see what we have here in Hupperdook.
If you had any information on fighting styles with daggers, and then also I was wondering if there was anything I might be able to do to assist the order while I was here in Hupperdook. Is there any information y'all are seeking, or any problems I could handle?
Yes, I would probably have to speak with one of the expositors about that. But I can have them get in contact with you when we get that information. I believe the information on some fighting instruction is something you could find here quite easily. So if you were wanting to go find someone to train with, again, I can. Whenever we have the information that you're looking for on these guns, we can set up a time for you to get some training in that, if that's what you'd like.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Absolutely. We'll get in touch with you probably later today with the information you seek, as well as the appointment times. So.
Well, thank you. And then I'll bow and walk out.
Okay. He returns the bow, kind of carefully holding the tray of the items that you brought in, and wanders off to take those to be processed. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to do while you're out?
If I could quickly and easily locate and buy a couple just general weapons. It's going to be a long sword, and that was actually it now. I wanted to get...
Okay. You wanted to find a longsword?
Yes.
Okay. I would say that'd be probably pretty easy to track down. It wouldn't be very fancy at all. Again, Hupperdook is a city of industry for the war. So while it's not mainly focused on small arms, they do manufacture some small arms here. Mostly they deal with more large weapons of war, siege type engines and stuff. But yeah, easily enough, you could take an hour or so and probably find some place to get that.
Yeah.
Did you want to play it out, or if you're okay, we can move on?
Yeah,
and I'll send you the gold to subtract here in a little bit.
Okay,
so.
yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. All right, so anything else for you, Lee?
I'm done. I'm going to
Perfect.
return to Hearth Hammer and
Okay.
start writing down just kind of what I've discovered over the past week or so. A lot of things have happened.
Okay. Perfect. So you head back. As you head back, we will acknowledge something really quickly. Looks like we got a raid, correct?
That is correct.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Looks like Agent Orange. Appreciate the raid. Hope you guys enjoy the story.
Can I try something here with this raid? As a bard?
Absolutely. Our bard
as
will take it
I'm,
away.
Hanging out at the Hearth and Hammer after I've done my research and things, I'm there and I see some weary adventurers strolling in from possibly hours of adventuring beforehand, and I see being led by an agent of sorts in orange armor, Agent Orange, and his 4 weary companions, and I greet them and I say hello as fellow adventurers, and I thank them as they share their stories and their exploits, and we share an ale and food, and I hear of Tyler Rift and Warrior Master 8 and Phantom Frog as they travel, and then the Silent One never shares his name or talk to us in a chat. And I go ahead and throw some coin to their way as they share their stories of their exploits, and buy them some mead, some food, and I share the stories of the heroes of Hupperdook.
Of course he did. Who invited this bard to
And
the
they-
group?
They call
course.
themselves a raiding party. They raid
see.
other evil places and great places as well.
Hey, the only
Yes.
thing you tend to raid there, bard, is the ground.
Indeed.
Or
Yes,
tables when you're
I
flipping
fought
about
him-
like a little girly man.
I fall quite a lot. You are correct, actually. But
You just
it's
don't
all
fall
for
with
flair
grace.
and excitement.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
once watched this vision that I was given. It was about these little toys, and they said something about falling with style. You do not do that.
No, that's
One
true. He
of
does
these
not.
days, I'll expert the art of acrobatics. Appreciate you calling me out in front of our new friends here, Agent Orange and his raiding party, about all the times that I've failed. I've been quite successful as well.
Hey,
Yes, but those aren't nearly as fun to talk about.
Helped us out quite a bit. I might have put us into trouble quite a bit as well, but I have helped us.
hey, trouble. The only trouble is the poor cleric spellbook. He's exhausted everything he can just to keep you alive.
This is also true. Yes. All my spell slots
Well-
gone.
He is a healer, and I'm giving him opportunities to do his role.
This is true. You make me have purpose in this world. Thank you for that.
You are welcome.
Perfect.
Now quit embarrassing
all right.
me in front of my new friends.
Of course.
So as
Give me one of
Rowan,
those fancy flippy. Did you show them your wall? Just all right.
On a wall I found.
all right. So as Rowan regales them with tales of the rust monster and the wall, Theoden is there again. Also,
Hey,
he's adding in corrective words here and there, like no, it was this, no, it was that, kind of thing.
hey, you
because
didn't actually hit them there, Bard. Let's calm down.
but he's contributing again. That paladin, you're appreciating how much he's putting into spreading the glory of the group. So
Hey, but make sure you spread the glory of me Warhammer. They're much more Bard than you are. Hey, you
Tell
don't
them about
do
all
the
those chairs
smash.
you destroyed.
You don't do the smash justice. Hey,
indeed. Okay, so they while that's going on, Lee has been out and eventually makes his way back. Was there any other errands anyone would like to do for the day?
I would like to take my turn. If I may.
Okay, Pete.
I'm
Pete
gonna-
he finishes up in the tavern, I'm assuming, and then where would you like to go?
I'm gonna head to. Let me see. I have the name pulled up. I'm heading to the Lay of the Land to speak with. I don't remember her name right now, but I do have it written down.
Okay, yeah, it's the herbalist there.
Yes, Zendasa at the Lay of the Land.
Zendasa,
As I'm walking through the city, I'm really I'm looking around for any sign of nature mixed in with kind of the foundations of this town.
Okay, roll an
no, I purposely was coming
investigation check.
Okay. Investigation is a +1, so that's gonna be a 9.
Okay, so yeah, as you go, you're hard pressed to see it. You think there might be the occasional tree or shrub. I mean, especially in the upper part of the city, you feel like you've probably noticed some things, but you just can't really recall where it is. But you feel like up there in the upper part of the city is probably where more would be, but you're just not seeing it. You're just kind of seeing the industry and the machines of war and the forges and the metal and the buildings right now. It's hard pressed. You're hard pressed to kind of see it. So
Right. I'm gonna take note of that. As I arrive at the Lay of the Land, Zendasa, how have you been? It's been a
Yes.
while since I've been in here.
and as you approach the lay of the land, you do notice it is almost a bit of a breath of fresh air in this part of the city, because it is an herbalist shop, and so hanging outside are drying herbs, and there's potted plants of various color and shape, and a whole host of them that you don't even know, and you know a lot um, and so it's nice to see. It's nice to see. So yes, you walk in and you call her name, and she says, "Oh, thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope everything turned out all right. I know you were in here the other day looking for some things. How are things going?"
Well, we were in a bit of a scuffle that was kind of concerning, but other than that, things have been great. I've come back with a few questions regarding that commission that I asked you about. How's that coming along?
Refresh my memory of the commission that you were looking
I
for.
have a minor prank that I'm trying to play on some friends that will hopefully put them to sleep without them knowing it, because they've been kind of
yes.
rude, and this is kind of me getting back at them.
Yes, indeed. I think you were wanting it in some sort of draught to drink, correct?
Any way that would be easy to get to them.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Well, I do appreciate that. Just make sure that it's not going to hurt your friends now.
Well, I wouldn't want any that would hurt them. No.
Okay.
If that's
Good.
part of the potion, that's kind of a problem on your side, I think.
Okay.
So,
And,
anything that's safe.
I mean, obviously, are you and these friends being safe? Are you put in danger at all? I mean, what are the daily?
Yes.
What's a typical day for you and your friends?
We did face some rust monsters recently, which meant that
Oh
all of our
my.
metals were kind of destroyed by their presence. Anything that we touched to them did
Yes,
destroy
yes.
that. And this is not something that I'm at all planning to use at any sort of dangerous time. Just when it would be hilarious and
this is
convenient,
just-
perhaps, in the tavern.
Okay. All right. Well, it's only been a day, so let me look a little bit more around here for the right thing, because as you said, I don't want to, any of your friends to have any ill effects for it. So if you could find out if they have any allergies or any sicknesses from anything specific, that way I can eliminate that as an option.
A good point you make. My second question, I feel like there's not as much nature around here as I thought there'd be. I kind of was called this direction because I knew it was going to be an industrial town, and I very much feel like there should always be a balance between industry and nature. But it seems to me like your shop's really the only one that's kind of built into plants.
True. It's pretty heavy on the industry here in Hupperdook, but that's again, it's a gnomish city, and they do love their forges and their mechanical things and their engineering. It's definitely not as balanced as it could be, but there are elements. Granted, in this area, I am one of the few, but there are some elements of nature in the upper parts of the city. But it could always use some more. For sure. So you're wanting to try to help bring that balance?
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
that's something that I feel kind of a personal calling towards doing that, and I know I'll have to speak to someone higher up about getting things done. But is there any sort of perhaps almost extinct or rare plants and things that are from this region that maybe people don't see as much these days? If I could bring those back to life and reintroduce them as part of the city's culture, then I'd strongly like to stay here and do that.
I'll have to think on that and get you a list. There's a few things that are a little more rare in this area, but I don't know quite if it's just because of the city itself or just the region. But let's see. Tell me where you're staying, and I can have a list delivered to you.
Most of our business we do up at the Hearth and Hammer, so either of
Oh yes, the
Brackle
Hearth
or,
and Hammer.
or
It's a
Biltix
it's a
will be able
lovely.
to-
I would say that is a lovely business that has good balance.
It's a fantastic balance.
It has a melding of the mechanical of that Wiltix. He's a cheeky little fellow, and that Brackle. He's a charmer, with his special brews and drinks. But together, yes, they make such an odd but balanced pair. I do appreciate them. Absolutely, I can have a list delivered to you there, probably by tomorrow.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
Are there any other common plants? I'm in the process of kind of greenifying my own personal space. Is there anything that's just kind of around this area that will help me feel more adjusted? I suppose I'm not from this area.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's definitely have some more. Are you looking for wanting to go out and find them, or were you wanting to
Either way, if you
some
have them in
seeds
stock,
or something, some
if you have
plants?
if you have any seeds in stock, or if it's something that I'm gonna have to go out and find.
I have a
Either
few.
one
I
of
have a
those is fine.
few packets of dried seeds here, and she kind of starts going through this shop, and you see her picking out these little paper packets that kind of rattle as she picks them up, and she says, yes, this one here and this one here. Not that one. That's not. Wouldn't be that. Oh, this one here. And she gets about 4 or 5 packets of seeds. We'll say 5 packets of seeds, and brings them over and says, these here are some of the local flora, if you will. And yes, I believe if you're wanting to bring a little balance to your personal space of the natural plants from this region, I'd say this would be a good start. And then I'll get you some of the rarer ones, a list of them. I don't necessarily have them here, but some that you could look for, or maybe if I do have them, I'll let you know. And yeah, so this will be let's see, this and this. It'll be about 1 gold, 5 silver for the
Alright.
seeds.
I can do that, absolutely, and I'll go ahead and pay that off to her.
Okay, perfect.
And if there's, along with that list, if there's anything that's maybe out in the world, I expect that I'll be traveling at some point. If there's anything that you're looking for that you don't have here, go ahead and add it to the list. And if I happen to find any, I'll absolutely bring it back to you.
Oh, very interesting. I will take you up on that offer, and I will let you know. So,
And do you happen to know anyone that I might talk to before I just go around the town making plants and adjustments? Like, who do you think I'd have to go to that would be
yes,
supervising those kind of things?
they definitely like their structure and rules here in Hupperdook. I would say if it's on any kind of dwelling, if you're in the residential districts, I would say you could always speak with homeowners about adding to their properties. If you are looking to add to areas and districts in the lower portions, in the iron lots and the other areas of Hupperdook that are business owned, you could talk to them. As far as the city itself is concerned, I feel like the only real person would be to speak with someone in the employ of the starosta.
Starosta, is that?
She's the ruling person in charge here in Hupperdook. She's Starosta Emma Zezbach. She's
If you don't
quite-
mind putting
quite
that
an old-
name on the list as well, so I can read it
absolutely,
later.
absolutely. She's quite a loud and boisterous gnome who's, I believe, been here since the beginning of the days of the alliance with the Empire.
Long time.
Oh yeah,
If-
she's been around for quite a while.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I think that's everything. Thank you very much.
Okay, absolutely. It's you do look a little rough for wear. Take some of these, and she hands you like a little sample thing of soaps and stuff. She's like, you just make sure you're well taken care of. I don't want you've been very very kind, and I'm excited to see what work you're doing. So yes, let's make sure we take care of ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. One last question: do you have any just like cinnamon sticks, anything of that sort, like ground cinnamon or cinnamon sticks? I'll also like
yes.
to purchase some of that if you've got it in stock.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely have some spices and stuff here. She goes over and, opens a jar and pulls it. How many would you like?
Let's see. I've got 5 bags of, the seeds. I'll go ahead and take 5 of those as well.
Okay. That'll be 2 silver.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming by, and I look forward to hearing about it. And I will have that list along within the next day.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Okay. So you go ahead and you leave her shop?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I
right.
probably head back to, unless I can happen upon Jace anywhere outside, then I probably head back to the Hearth Hammer.
Okay. I believe Jace was still back at the Hearth Hammer, unless he
I was. I'm at the Hearth Hammer.
was wanting to go somewhere else.
I would like to speak to Skin Sabers because Jace isn't completely convinced that there's not another breakout attempt or anything of that nature.
Okay, so you want to go check on her in the prison?
Yes.
Okay. So after Lee and Pete head off in their directions, you head down to the stockades.
Okay.
You're greeted by Crown's Guard, who are there, and obviously you're starting to become familiar with some of them. Do you? How do you try to get in there?
Hello, good sir.
Yes.
I just want to check in on the Goliath we brought in recently, Skin Sabers. Is she still in custody here?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Good. All right. Might I have a word with her?
You would need to take that up with the Watchmaster.
Of course. Where could I find him at this hour?
I mean, he would be over at in the barracks where his office is.
All right. I will. I'll go speak with him, and hopefully we'll return shortly.
Okay. It's not. I mean, it's just across the street there. So you, go over and gain admittance to the barracks, and within about 10 minutes, he comes out and sees you and says, "Ah, yes, you're one of the party that helped us out recently. What was your name again,
Of
sir?"
course. My name is Jace. We are the heroes of Hupperdook. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
I wanted to speak to you for just a moment. I recently spoke with Nima, and she just was letting me in that a few things weren't seeming quite right with things going on. Not that there's a missing blasting powder, but things just aren't lining up. And last time we had issues with blasting powder, it was used for Skin Sabers to escape. And so I would just like to speak with her for a moment and make sure, just see if I can get anything from her, if anything like that is going to be going down again. I would really hate to see a repeat of last time.
Yes, well, we definitely don't want that. We have definitely put her in a... we've reinforced the cell that we put her in. It's not the same cell. Obviously, that one is still being reconstructed. But yes, she is as secure as we can make her. Roll a persuasion check.
All right. It'll be a 10.
Okay. We have definitely been questioning her. I don't know if at this time we can let anyone in. We're still trying to glean some information from her, and she's probably not well receptive at the moment. But maybe another time.
If it helps any, I have ways of being very persuasive without being in physical contact with her. If you would like to come along, you can ask questions you may be eager to get answers of as well.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
All right. I'm going to need that advantage. That's a 15.
Okay. Well, knowing that you're part of the group that recaptured her, and also got Stalmast, you've piqued my curiosity with trying to help get some more information of her. So very well. Let's go down and I'll give you 5 minutes with her.
Thank you very much.
So he takes you back,
Mhm.
and you start going through several locked doors with guard stations at them, and you can tell now that this it's another section of the area, the stockades there that are within that mountain. As you kind of definitely feel like you're in the mountain at this point. But eventually you come to a door, metal door, with a very small grate in it. And there's 2 guards outside that, with a nod from the Watchmaster, opens it up. And you walk inside, and you do see a little bit larger room than just a cell. It looks like it's a cell with bars, but then outside of the cell there is a table and chair. And it's dimly lit, but it's like I said, it's the only cell in this room. So you can tell it's definitely being used to question.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do?
Hello, Skin Sabrus. Do you is it okay if I call you Skin Sabrus? I'd like to.
She is. You see her now. This Goliath. She is bruised and battered. Not probably still from your fight. They haven't necessarily treated her as a guest, if you will. And she is shackled on wrists and ankles and even around her neck. Not to the point that it looks like she is can't move at all necessarily, but you can tell they're not taking any chances with her. She just kind of looks at you.
I wanted to speak to you for just a moment and see if we might be able to have a civilized conversation. I just had to ask, one of my contacts has told me that there's been more blasting powder that's come up missing. Do you know of any plans for this blasting powder?
She roll a perception check. Or roll an insight check, actually.
Okay. Good, that one was terrible. 17.
Okay. You noticed when you said blasting powder that her eyes shifted suddenly to you. Not a lot, but you noticed that she is paying attention to you now.
Skin, I can see that I've piqued your interest. I have ways to ensure I get the truth, but I would like to have this conversation in a civil manner. Can you let me know of anything going on?
She looks at you, kind of looks at herself, shakes her head.
I see. All right, and so I raise my hand and I cast Zone of Truth.
Ooh, all right. So what's the, is it DC? Or is it just a...
So it lasts for 10 minutes. Anyone within a 15-foot radius must say the truth until the spell ends. Creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn. They must make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so you center it on her at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Since you are outside of the cage. I'm assuming you don't want anyone else to be in the zone.
Right.
Okay. So let's see.
Well, is Bram with me?
Yeah, the Watchmaster's with you. So
Okay. I'll keep it centered on her.
I was gonna say, if it's centered on her, then you guys are far enough out.
Outside of it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So there is a roll involved.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Charisma.
Mm-hmm.
What is
14.
the DC? 14. Okay. Oh, let me look at her charisma. Hold on.
Okay.
Gotta pull it up. Okay. Okay. So she looks at you, and you see her kind of like face change a little bit, and you're pretty sure it worked. So
Okay. Skin. What is your crew planning? Are they going to try to break you out again?
she looks at you and says, "You, from what I hear, have captured or killed everyone in the cavern. So, I don't have any knowledge of anything else."
Had we not captured or killed everyone in the cavern, what was the plan?
You see her struggle for a moment, but kind of consider what she's going to say. The plan was to let Starmaster cause damage.
There was a dark elf that was reported to be there. Who is she?
So you see him, or you see Skin, look around for a second. Contemplating what she's going to say. And so I can find his name.
No, you're good.
Okay. So she looks around for a second and says, you can see kind of visibly straining. It's Ambassador Ishel.
Ambassador Ishel. And with whom is Ishel? With whom is Ishel affiliated?
You see her kind of struggle a little bit. You know the answer to that.
but I'd like you to tell me.
She kind of looks at you, says, "She is Kryn."
And what role does she play with Stallmast?
She was an ambassador.
I see. And I look over at Bram. I believe I have all the information I need. This zone will stay up for another 5 minutes if you have any questions for her.
You see him look at that and look around and say, "Yes. Well, I will see what we can't get anything else out of her. I appreciate your assistance in this matter, cleric. Again, what was your name? Jace?
Jace.
Thank you, Jace.
And before I leave, I look over. I look over at Skin and I say thank you, and I cast Healing Word to just comfort her a little more to heal some of the wounds she has as I walk away.
Okay. You see a look of surprise as this happens, and you see a little bit more. You see a cut on her arm, kind of seal up a little bit, and you see some of the bruising on her side of her face kind of lighten a little bit, and yeah, she looks a little surprised that you would do that, and surprised and a little weary at the same time. You also see the Watchmaster kind of give you a sidelong glance of like, he didn't say anything, but he's curious about you doing that. So, okay. And then you're escorted out of the prison and walked back out to the street. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I will go rejoin the group.
Okay.
And update them on what we found out.
Perfect. And then I think lastly we also had Theoden. Were you looking for the temple to Mordan?
Aye.
Okay. So you were given, easy enough instructions by Wiltix. And so he
Aye.
leads you, or the instructions lead you over to the prayer foundry, which as you approach, you almost wonder how you didn't know this was here. Because it's this large, majestic temple to Mordan, the Allhammer.
As it should be.
And it's this mighty octagonal structure resembling a large anvil on top of an iron. And so within, as you approach, there's many
Smell of a
people.
hot forge.
Yes, absolutely. It's like I said, it is literally part of the forge and foundry for this area. And there's blacksmiths and tinkerers who are there working and also seeking blessings for their creations there. And so you're there and you're able to enter as you will. Is there anything particular that you're looking for, or do you try to catch someone's attention?
Just try to find a smith and have a little conversation. Try to.
Okay.
I'm looking for somebody who might be able to point me in the direction of maybe some some rare materials to be able to work with.
Okay. All right. So
Hey.
let's see. You're easy enough. You're able to walk in and let's see. You find someone who is looks like they're working the forge, not as a craftsman who's there, but someone who stokes the fires and keeps it going and working for everything. Let's see. Yeah, you're able to find someone there, and you walk up and find this young dwarf who's got kind of sandy brown hair and a thick but not too long yet beard. He's covered in sweat and has got like the work coveralls, and he's been walking back and forth and stoking fires, and you can just tell he's like someone there as part of the temple to Mordan. And he catches attention and he says, yes, can I help you?
Aye. Yes, I was just wondering. I know that you wonderful smiths here are hard at work crafting materials. It looks great here.
Thank
But myself is a smith from way back. My daddy was a smith and my grandpappy was a smith.
Okay.
I've thrown my hammer quite a few times and bounced it off some metal, and I'm just getting back into a little bit of practice as my adventuring days are tending to wind down. Looking to maybe craft a little more, so to say, rarer items in my twilight years here.
Oh, yes. So are you looking to learn? Are you wanting an apprenticeship?
No, I'm a fairly good smith myself. More or less looking at where could a good dwarf get his hands on some more exquisite metals.
Oh, I suppose you could ask around and find some for sale here in the city. I mean, there's metals come from all over the region here to this foundry to be worked and forged, but it's usually something that the craftsman brings with them.
I understand. Could you point me in a good direction of maybe a shop that would have a good selection of ores and bars for me hammer to work on?
Oh, there's plenty of smiths around who have some. You could talk to any of the shops here. There's you might be able to inquire with some of the people in the Omni Smelter, which is just over there, and it's you see it's like part of this giant complex of the foundry and the temple to Mordan is you can see with your knowledge the area where everything is brought to be smelted, smelt for working in the forge, and there's people who are getting doing the process. The few people coming and going there. But you can tell that there's a lot of different compounds and metals being purified and worked there and turned into ingots and stuff like that. So,
mainly looking for maybe a shop that might be able to sell some adamantite and mithril.
okay. So you find the nearest shop, okay, and you are able to, like I said, not too far away. There's a lot of shopkeepers within this area, and you find the nearest one, and you walk in, and you find the shopkeep there. It's almost more like a supply room, but there's like someone there working a desk basically, and you see a couple doors behind him, and out in this in this desk that he's working on, you see some ingots of different metals and everything. But he looks up and he says, a gnome, a male, and he looks up and sees you and says, yes, can I help you?
Hey, good feller. Myself is looking for some adamantite or mithril, and the young feller outside pointed me this direction.
Oh, well, those are pretty rare indeed.
Hey.
Let's see. Mithril, I can't say I've seen any in a while. Nor have I really seen adamantite. Can you just... I don't even know if I've seen... And he kind of scratches his chin and says, I don't even know if I've seen adamantite, to be honest. I mean, mithril we do get occasionally, but it's usually something somebody brings to the forge, to the foundry, to have their creations blessed.
Hey. Sorry. Do you know where we might be able to get me hands on some, where some might come from, maybe?
Mithril... Occasionally they find a vein in the mines here. So you could inquire and see if maybe you could get some from there. But as far as what's brought here, if it's been we don't keep a store of the mithril here.
Hey.
So
I will I'll do that. Thank you.
okay.
Thank
Yes,
you,
absolutely.
sir. Appreciate the information, and I'll be on my way.
Absolutely. So you take your leave and go about, and as you walk back through, passing through this large temple, you see this. Like I said, you're still just kind of in awe at the size and magnitude of the prayer foundry and this temple. There's the giant, kind of faceless dwarf statues, figures of Mordan that you see, and yeah, you have a sense of peace in this, with the smells of the metal and the sounds of the hammering and the sizzle of the hot water and everything used to
Takes me back to me
craft.
home.
Yeah, it's good. You feel at ease. So yeah, with that, you head back towards the direction of the Hearth and Hammer.
I'm gonna head back towards the group.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting to be evening time, and you all are probably getting towards the end of the day. Was there any last items that you guys, anyone wanted to take care of?
Don't think so, no.
I believe I'm good.
Okay. All right. So you guys have gone about your day and taken care of some errands. You have investigated a little bit more into the mysteries of the items that you found in your fight with the rust monster. And you were very fortunate to have someone able to mend your items. So it's Theoden is got to be pretty happy about that.
Hey,
I hope he better be.
hey, very happy. Me grandpappy's hammer.
It's not lost. It's not lost. All right. Well, with that, you come back to the Hearth and Hammer, and Kellen has come back and has dropped off some information for you. He lets you know that exactly how long, and says that he'll get back in touch with you later in the week. And you do get let's see, who was missing something. Lee, you do also receive from Brackell a list of some information, and said that at your convenience, if you would like to come back to the library at some point, the information has been found and can be made available to you on guns, the information that they have. So, but yeah, and then also the information on the training you asked for. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right. But with that, the day comes to a close, and
Hey.
unless there's any further business, I think we'll end tonight's session there.
All right.
All right. All right. Well,
Sounds good.
you all have moved forward a little bit, and Rowan, Austin, glad that you could make it for the latter half. Appreciate it. And thank you, chat, for being here. Again, thank you, Madrop. And my goodness, there are so many people that joined us today. Thank you for that raid, Agent Orange and crew. We're going to have to work something out where maybe our bard gives a welcome in times like that. So that was pretty good. I liked it. So that way we can acknowledge without completely breaking character there. So, unless we're out in the wilderness, in which case, that might be difficult.
I'll come up with something.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. So, but thank you again. Thank you, Mrs. Reborn, for being an amazing mod as always. And man, chat was going on tonight, so that was fantastic.
There we go.
It's fantastic. All right, well,
Chat was cracking me up during this session.
yeah, I know they were having a great time. So, yeah, well, let's we're gonna end tonight, but real quick, where can people find all of our fine party members? Lee Swifthill, Noah, where can people find you?
On Instagram at Noah Drew Mathis.
Perfect. And Reborn Crusader, Theoden, the dwarf, where can people find you?
Not
Also
here,
let him
because
know
he
he's
doesn't turn
muted.
on his mic.
Hi, you can find me in Mordan's halls.
That's right.
Hi, you can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Reborn Crusader.
Perfect. And Jace Faraday, a.k.a. Dr. Heels, where can people find you?
You can find me right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dr. Heels. Also on YouTube on either of my channels, youtube.com/Dr. Heels and youtube.com/ThatBoldLife.
Yes, absolutely. And if you haven't seen them, he has some amazing content on YouTube about creating content of your own, whether it's for streaming or YouTube videos, stuff like that. Totally worth it and awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, Madrop, I know we need to get a shout out. I don't have any commands set up. It's coming, I promise. All right, and Pete Flamekeeper, also known as Colin, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Colin Kelsey Productions and on Twitter at Colin Kelsey 2. I'm also thinking about maybe making a Twitter account for Pete himself to get all of my inner thoughts out somewhere. So
Nice.
let me know if what y'all think of that.
I think that sounds
I
awesome.
fully support that. Fully
Mm.
support it.
Yes.
I'm just gonna
bring
pretend
Pete.
that Rowan reads it and it just looks like gibberish to him.
It does.
Are we all just making Twitter accounts for
No,
for our
I have
D&D
too many
characters?
enough. I have too many.
We
But
should.
Pete is he is the note taker of the group.
You know,
I think so.
I figure since I'm a druid
He
and
and
I
Lee.
can kind of speak to the animals, maybe I can tweet with the birds. Yeah.
I like
ha,
it.
ha, 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 ha.
Brilliant.
All right. And Rowan, last but not least, Austin, where can people find you?
I am most active on Twitter. It's _Austin LCG. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to some of the things like our Hearth Hammer TikTok. We got other places.
We
people
do.
can
Ooh,
connect
we do.
on all the social
We are
medias.
We're starting to get those going, aren't we?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Austin is helping with those things, and he just posted a video today, which is amazing.
What's the name for the Hearth Hammer TikTok?
I believe it's actually Hearth Hammer D&D
Okay.
on TikTok. No.
So as well.
Is it? Yes.
Yes.
TikTok and Instagram are Hearth Hammer D&D, because there is some business that decided to use the name Hearth Hammer, but they only have an
Really?
Instagram.
Yep.
So, but yeah, awesome. And as always, my name is Seth. I am the DM. You can find me at Twitter and Twitch at WhiteFoxSG. And I again thank you for being here. All right, well look for the episodes to drop later, and go back and check out any of the old ones. Drop us a follow on YouTube and all the places so that you know when we go live. And yeah, we'll look at maybe getting some open sections to the Discord. I think we are close to having that. So, but yeah, thank you again, and good night, and God bless.
Bless.